About a system that really kind of pushed you out, so like you disgusted you so much?
It was the habitual killings. Every time you turn on the news or something, one of us is getting killed.
Right.
And it's not necessarily just us in the illusion. It's people coming from Ghana, it's people coming from Gambia, people coming from Kenya. They're getting murdered just like we are. And so if your skin looks like ours, you know what I'm saying, this type of hue or color, you know, you're subject to being murdered.
Right.
And there's no way you can get away from that.
I saw a lot of killing as I became a teenager. I saw a lot of killing, shooting, robbing. I saw all of this on the west side of Chicago.
Wow. We made anywhere from 85,000 to about 107,000 a year.
Yes.
So I think we were middle income.
Yes.
I think we were middle income, so we was generating the income, but we was putting it right back out.
Did you move to Ghana with $100,000 in your bank account?
No, we moved here with about
some dust.
No, we moved here. We had about 6,000 US dollars
in hand.
In hand.
And bank account?
Nothing.
But when you want to be free, it doesn't matter what it is you have to do to get to that freedom, and that's what we chose here. We'd rather be here with nothing than to go to America with something.
Right.
We've been lied to all my life. It's not what they say it is at 3 o'clock in the morning. It's something different. You get to actually think here. You know, in America, you don't have enough time to think. Your brain is just speeding real fast. I gotta do this, I gotta do that. I gotta pay this, I gotta pay that. It's about time you do all of this. You wanna go to sleep, you gotta get back up and do it again. Same, just going over and over and over. Yes.
The rat race, like
it's scary, and before you know, you're either sick or dead. Maybe one more regret that my mom didn't get to come. Yeah, maybe I could have saved her from what she was going through with her health. So I think I regret.
Your mom is still in the U.S.?
She died a year after I got here. We came 2016. She didn't want to come when we were coming. She said she'll come later. When it was time to really get back and try to get her back here, she didn't make it.
Hello guys, so welcome back again to another amazing episode, and this is the diaspora transition episode where we interview diasporans who decided to leave the diaspora and currently living here on the continent. And as you guys already know, this episode is not filmed in Ghana. We are in the Gambia, and I'm here with amazing people. You know, a couple who decided to leave America behind to relocate to the Gambia, and it goes by the name the Black Acres of the Gambia, and I'm here with them today to have an amazing conversation. So without further ado, the Black Acres, welcome on the show.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
All right, so thank you for allowing me to come on the property for us to have a conversation. Now, people watching you for the first time might not know who you are. Can you please briefly introduce yourself?
I'm Cynthia, known as Sweet Juicy Mama.
And I'm Rick, known as Sweet Daddy of Black Acres of the Gambia.
Okay, so I saw your story online. A brother of mine, Wadamaya, shout out to you, interviewed you guys. I saw what you're doing here, a huge farm. Now, before we dive into that, I want to go a little bit back to the beginning of the whole story. Life in America, right? Why will you leave America behind? Because I'm a Ghanaian, right? And then when we were children, we wanted to go to the US. That is a dreamland. That's like almost a heaven to some people down there.
Yes.
And then you decided to leave that behind and come to Africa.
Right.
So let's have that conversation. Let's just take it back. Your upbringing. How did you grow up to the point where, you know, working and deciding to leave America behind? So,
No problem. Oh, well, I grew up in a single family household. Mom operated it. And during my childhood, she kept showing me Pan-African type movies. So as a youth, I keep looking at the racial inequality of the U.S. Now, this is as a child. And so as I started to develop, you know, in the teens and then adulthood, I started seeing it firsthand. And so when I kind of got into my adulthood, I was like, there has to be somewhere better than this. And so again, I didn't like the racial inequality. I didn't like the income gap, the police brutality. So there was a lot of things that I didn't particularly like about America. And so I just said, hey, I'm out of here. You know, I was in the military, and they kept sending me to Africa. They sent me to Egypt, sent me to Saudi Arabia, Iraq, and then someplace off the African continent, Korea. And so I got a chance to see what life was like overseas as an African male. And so I said, hey, this is much better treatment than I was getting in America, which I refer to as the illusion. And so anyway, I just said, hey, it's time for me to get out of here. And I approached Sweet Juicy Mama with the idea in 1991. And I was like, you know, I got to get out of here and stuff. And so anyway, fast forward, some things happened. We didn't get out of the illusion until 2015. That was our first visit to the Gambia for 2 weeks. And again, the reason why we left was what I already previously mentioned, the disparities and stuff. And can't understand why some people don't get out either.
Me, I was born and raised in Chicago, on the west side of Chicago. I was born coming in this world as backwards as you can come. But my mom and my dad was both into the gangs at this time. Back then, it was just, it's not like it is the way it is today, but it was a gang where they fought a lot. My dad he was the one who actually helped start the vice lords on the west side of Chicago. He was the chief. And so that was my father. My mom was a vice lady at the time, but you know, I was born when my mom had me. She went to prison. So she did 3 years in the prison, and I was born, it was the White Illinois prison.
What happened?
I was born in the prison home. That's how, and I was turned over to my grandmother. That's who raised me. So that's where coming into, like I said, backwards as you can be. That's the way I came in this world. But I had a lot of, you know, disadvantage, but meeting Rick, he kind of changed that for myself and the children. Well, no children at this time, but you know, meeting him, and we became a family, and that's how, you know, we met, which was in Chicago. But like I said, it was bad living in Chicago.
Let's talk about the living situation in Chicago, because we know what you said, South Side or what?
West Side.
West Side. Now, we know what goes down there.
Yes.
You know, as a young child at that time, growing up in that kind of environment, can you walk us through a little bit? Yes,
it was. When I was coming up, I don't see the badness, so I can't say it was bad. To me, it was, I loved it. I loved the, you know, what I was, you know, going through. I had a lot of cousins. I only had 2 siblings. One passed at the time when I was coming up into Chicago, and I thought it was Walt Disney or Disney World or something coming in Chicago. It was beautiful at that time, and so you know, coming up as a little girl, you don't see the badness that you're going through now. So there were a lot of disadvantage still coming up. Like I said, my grandmother raised me, aunts took care of me, helped. But there were the badness there. It's there, but you don't see it when you're a young kid. All you see is a lot of playtime, you know, but it was there. Yeah, and it was rough because, again, like I say, as you become a young woman, you start to see a lot then. You see, I saw a lot of killing as I became a teenager. I saw a lot of killing, shooting, robbing. I saw all of this on the west side of Chicago.
Wow.
Yes. Wow. I mean, you don't see it as a young girl, but once you start to develop into that womanhood, you start to see a lot.
Well, now growing up without your mother, but with your grandmother.
I had only for 3 years.
Oh, for 3 years.
Well, maybe 5, because once I entered kindergarten, I was back to my mom. My grandmother moved south. I moved back with my mom.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Now, you know, being, as I said, a woman in America at that age with that kind of environment, did it kind of had any toll on your mind as a grown adult in any way, shape, or form? Yes,
there was a lot of times you grow up as angry, and you don't know why you're angry. But as I got, you know, to be a older woman and start to understand why, I know, because of the environment that I grew up, you had a lot of disadvantage. I mean, there was nothing. There was you at this time. I'm back with my mom now. My mom is working as a nurse, and she's working at night. I'm taking care of myself, my sister, household, doing the laundry, cooking, cleaning, everything. Because once she's working at night, we're sleeping. But when it was time for me to go to school, I had to do all that work.
Wow.
Because when she came home during the morning, there was no help from her. I mean, because sometimes she didn't come straight home. She actually did a lot of playing cards, bingo, stuff like that. So it was more of just myself. I was the oldest child, and I had to take care of all of that. Yes,
wow.
you see a lot of things that you, as a young child, when you was coming up, and you're angry a lot. I used to fight a lot, and I stayed in trouble, but not to the trouble where I can go to jail, stuff like that. I just fought a lot in school, and I was angry.
You experienced the oppression with the being. There's not much white people in that neighborhood, I would say.
At that time, when I was coming up, no.
No.
I mean, they were there, but for other reasons. Yes.
Okay. So you didn't experience any racism, discrimination, and stuff.
Not
like
until I got to be as an adult, and we were actually living on my own. That's when I experienced that.
Okay. So what work were you doing in the U.S. at that time before moving?
Before I was actually working at a toys. It's like a store. For toys, Toys R Us, stuff like that. Before I left Chicago and moved to with the military with Rick, I was working at a store. Wow. Yes. Wow. Now, or either Burger King or something like that, just to bring in the dollars. So you have to do whatever you have to do to keep it going.
I like that.
Yes.
And now because I want people watching, even African Americans, even Africans on the continent, to have that perspective of the lifestyle in the West. Okay. Right. So you were working all kind of job,
yes,
trying to make ends meet, and in America, you said.
And you have to do it for yourself, because at this time now, I don't have my dad had passed, and my mom's, I'm basically on my own, taking care of myself. So nobody else is there to take care of you.
At what age was that?
At that time, I'll probably say maybe when my first child, I was 16.
16.
Yes, but again, I do have him because we're boyfriend and girlfriend. So he's helped taking care of me, but still he's away too in the military. Sometimes on a tour where I could attend with him. So it was more of the money he's sending me. I'm taking care of household and everything. And if I want extra, I have to get out there and make it myself.
Wow. That's Rick, right?
Yes.
Yes. You're a military man. Okay.
Yes, I am.
Now, life before the military. When was the time you went to the military?
I came out of high school in 1981, and then I went to college for 2 years, thinking I was going to play in the NFL. And so after being disillusioned with the whole college scene, I didn't mind the sports part of it. It's just the schooling and the conditioning and the propaganda that took a toll on me, because again, I told you my upbringing was watching these Pan-African films that my mom would make me watch. And so anyway, that didn't sit right with me. And so anyway, after 2 years of college, I dropped out and joined the military, and stayed in there for about 15 years and didn't like that either. But after 15 years, I felt it had took me as far as it could take me, and the rest was up to me. So I got out in 1998 and went through a series of job losses where we started our own cleaning company, and that sort of propelled us to what took us here,
Right.
Self-employment and getting a sense of independence away from the system, It's one thing to have a job, but it's one thing where you bring in the income yourself as much as you want to bring in. And so that's what we favored, not being dependent on the system, generating enough income that satisfied what we were looking for.
What about a system that really kind of pushed you out, so like you disgusted you so much?
Yeah, well, it was the habitual killings. Now, a lot of people want to go to the illusion, but they don't understand about the habitual killings. I mean, every time you turn on the news or something, one of us is getting killed.
Right.
And it's not necessarily just us in the illusion. It's people coming from Ghana, it's people coming from Gambia, people coming from Kenya. They're getting murdered just like we are. And so if your skin looks like ours, you know what I'm saying, this type hue or color, you know, you're subject to being murdered.
Right.
And there's no way you can get away from that. It doesn't matter if you're a billionaire, you're still liable to get murdered because
you're black.
Because you're black. Millionaire, the same thing. A celebrity, it doesn't matter. So no one is safe there, you know. And I came to the realization that you can no longer hide or block it out. You gotta come to terms and say, hey, I can't protect my family here because I can't even protect myself. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you can go tick for tack.
Right.
Somebody shoot at you and you shoot back. Then you go into their law system, and you know how that turns out. It's their law system. Wasn't designed for us. It's their law system, and they're going to punish you as they see fit.
Right.
Has nothing to do with justice. And when I realized that, it was time to get out of there and stuff. And so I still, to this very day, we've been in the Gambia 7 years. Still can't understand why people still endure and tolerate that system. You know what I'm saying? It has nothing to do with money.
No.
It has something to do with, you
mentality.
know, losing your manhood or losing your womanhood and saying, I'm going to tolerate this and endure this irregardless.
Right.
And if that's the case, have at it.
With me, I think it was when, you know, he was working so much and you know, we weren't, put it like this, we were making money. We weren't, it was the time. And then the money that we were making, it had to go back. You know, the insurance, you got car, you got house payment, you got this, you got
you're making money, but you're not saving anything because it goes back to expenses.
Exactly.
That's a rat race, basically.
And not only that, you don't really have a life because you're constantly working. When you're not working, you either have the children to take care or you have to, you know, pay this, pay that. What do? You don't even have time to sit and think. And coming, once we got to the Gambia, I mean, you have a lot to think about.
Now, before we get into Gambia, both of you were working. How much money were you making yearly in the U.S.?
We made anywhere from $85,000 to about $107,000 a year.
Yes.
So I think we were middle income.
Yes.
I think we were middle income. So we was generating the income, but we was putting it right back out. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
And so we needed at least $10,000 a month, monthly income to survive.
Yes.
And I just told you we average 85 to 100. So you would make all this good money during great weather, you know, spring and summer. You make good money, but then when it hit winter time,
it was too cold because the work that we did.
Take that nosedive with the income.
Wow. And then you guys just decided to, you came with your daughter, I've seen.
Yes.
And you swept all your family members. Before you did that, did you have any holdback from other extended family or even in the nuclear family who try to hold you back? You know,
I don't necessarily say they tried to hold. They didn't want us to come, but
why?
They didn't. I don't know.
I think probably because I was the workhorse of the family.
Yes, probably so.
If you really wanted to have something done, you know, call Rick. You know, he's going to do it and stuff. So
and probably
when I left, that's a void now. Who fills that vacuum? You know what I'm saying? So.
And not only that, he is the only child. So
now you're talking as far as mother and father. I'm talking about the whole clan.
Okay.
You know, the whole clan was like, you know, well, Rick, you know, left and they took this business with him. They couldn't employ me or something like that, you know. So it was like, create your own, you know.
We had to think of ourselves plus our children at the time. And that's what Rick and I did. We thought of them. We even explained, we have 7. We explained to all of them that we wanted to come here. Either you want to come or, you know, you stay here, but, you know, you have to fend for yourself.
I had someone who said they are addicted to the system in the West.
Because of the conditioning that I got growing up, I said, well, hey, it worked for me pretty much. I'm going to condition the kids. And so there's this conditioning that mom and dad put in their mind from youth that's in the back. But society overwhelmed them. And so right now,
Yes, I think it took a toll.
Yeah, they're dealing with being overwhelmed. And once they get a chance to process what mom and dad, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, bestowed upon them, they're going to get out of the system too. But right now, in my opinion, now she might disagree, but in my opinion, I think that our 3 oldest children that are still in the illusion are struggling. And
Of
once,
course they are.
And once they come to the realization, hey, it doesn't get any better than this. It doesn't matter who I marry.
Yep.
It's not going to get any better than this. The only solution is to get out of the system. And so, I mean, that's just where I say
there's no win in America for it. It's not designed for you to win, no matter how much you make.
Or how long you work.
Or how long you've been there.
Yeah.
You can't win with their system, period.
Yeah, it's not designed.
Yes, it's not.
It's not designed.
At least not for us.
Exactly, because the system is manufactured by them. I mean, it was created, you know the story, it was created off of
slavery.
Off of enslavement, right. It was created off of enslavement. And so that's all they know.
Yes.
And so they'll just change the word and say, okay, oh, now you're free.
But really,
still,
you're not.
You're still not free.
Because they got control of that pocketbook. No
Everything.
matter,
no
no
not
matter,
just the pocketbook,
yes,
everything.
Everything.
Food, water.
Exactly. You see
shelter,
what we're going through.
Finances. I mean, everything. Medical. They just control everything to run you into the ground.
You couldn't have your own farm.
You can have it, but again, it's designed
to work against you.
Exactly.
But like coming out of enslavement, a lot of us worked our way where we had all this land, and the system took it right back from us and stuff.
You know,
and so even today now, there's a couple that was in Colorado. They had bought maybe 1,000 acres, 1,000 acres, and the neighbors didn't like that. Wow. So the neighbors was killing their livestock and called the police.
Killing people on their land and saying that they did it.
Yep. Called the police and said, the landowners, 1,000 acres now, you got 1,000 acres, you're not bothering anybody.
Right.
Because you're in a position where you just want to do your thing.
Right.
You know, like us. But anyway, they called the police on them and stuff, and they got arrested.
Yeah.
Wow. They got 1,000 acres, but the neighbors around them didn't look like them and complained about them. And they got arrested. The husband and wife got yanked off the land. I don't know what the follow-up is on that, but
so
you're never safe. You're never safe.
Can own a lot of things there, but there will be problems.
Now, I've had people comment down on my video say that for me to move to Africa, I would rather stay in this America. And almost like they're trying to tell you that you don't know what you're doing by going to the continent. If someone say that, what reply do you have for that person?
Well, again, I alluded to that a little bit earlier. They're conditioned. You know, they can walk outside the door and get shot or murdered by the police. That still has no comparison to coming to the African continent and being ate up by something or experiencing freedom. They're fixated on I've made it, and they block out everything else because conditioning. Because conditioning is something.
It is.
The mental conditioning is something. Once you keep telling them, "Hey, you got it made here. You're enjoying the American dream," but in the back of your mind, you know you're not realizing the American dream. It's an American nightmare.
Yeah, no American dream.
But still,
they've been brainwashed.
They've been brainwashed, and they're delusional because they think I've made it.
Yeah.
And they look at TV and see murder, and they start to justify, oh, well, this guy was stealing something, so that's why I got killed.
Yeah.
No, the guy was at home with his wife and kids. Police came to the door, shot him. It was the wrong household. You see what I'm saying? So how are you safe in that environment? So when people tell me, oh, well, you know, I'm going to stay in America, I say you're delusional. And when it catches up with you, it's too late to say, oh, I got to get my passport and get out of here.
Right.
It's too late.
It's too late.
It's too late.
But you guys packed your bags.
Yes.
Packed the whole container. How many containers you guys packed?
4
containers.
4 40-foot containers. Now, our budget only permitted us to send 2 40-foot containers here. Then we processed it, got it out of the port and everything. Then we went back 2 years later, got the other 2 40-foot containers and brought those too. So we got a lot of land now, so we got everything set right here on the land.
Now you have almost how many? 11 hectares
11 hectares, 26 acres.
of land
Right.
on the continent of Africa.
Yes.
Fully owned by you.
Fully owned. And a house.
And a house.
Well, we just finished the house, so yes.
And then, you know, in one of your stories, you said you guys barely had any money in your account moving
no.
back.
Yeah.
Now,
We barely had food to eat when we got here.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. I had someone I interviewed, he's a Ghanaian, and then normally we have this stereotype view of African Americans moving to the continent. We believe that they are rich. And this guy is saying that
No.
these people are moving to Ghana with $50,000 to $100,000 in their bank account. Did you move to Ghana with $100,000 in your bank account?
No, we moved here with about
Some dust
no, we moved here. We had about $6,000 US
Yes.
dollars
in hand.
in hand.
And bank account?
Nothing. Yeah, but we had sent the 40-foot containers here, and we paid nothing on them.
Right.
So when it got
At
to the
that
port,
time,
it
yes.
was going to eat up that $6 grand. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? And so we had.
So we had some great people who worked with us
right.
at that time, yes.
And we had 2 school-aged children.
Yeah.
We had to pay school fees, and so
While you're on the continent, you pay
yeah.
school fees in
school
America.
fees, yes,
No, not in America. In
Here,
the Gambia.
okay.
only
Because
here,
they were the last 2 children we have was still in school.
high school.
Ricky had just entered her second year of high school. Raheem had just entered his first year
first year of high school.
here.
Okay.
And so there is fees here because they went to an international school here.
And we couldn't afford the
And we
fees.
couldn't really
Couldn't afford
afford the
them.
fees. We paid as,
Wow.
we can.
Yeah,
They
we-
worked with us.
Right, we was trying to-
sometimes.
yeah, we-
not all the time.
Yeah, we were
but
trying to
yes.
get the
containers.
containers out the port, and we trying to feed each other and
Keeping
cash
power
on. And
What I'm thinking is, like, you've worked for how many years in the U.S.?
Ooh.
And then you see what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like what
Yes.
you said, that
Right.
you still don't have money left. And
But when you want to be free, it doesn't matter what it is you have to do
Right.
to get to that freedom. And that's what we chose
Yes.
here. We rather be here with nothing than to go to America with something.
right. Well,
you had an idea.
yeah, we had an idea.
A lot of ideas.
Yeah, because we had basically these ideas that we're doing here for the illusion.
Right. We wanted to
But-
do it there.
In
But
America.
from history,
Yeah.
But it was not possible.
it's
Not
not
at all.
possible.
It would have been a time wasting.
We've been in
It's been
trouble.
time wasted.
Yes.
Because again, we're pan African centered, and we say black man, black woman, black babies, black empowerment. That upsets certain people. But I'm like, because we love ourselves
And
and
then
people that look like us, if that offends you, then you don't need to be in our circle. And so,
so long we've
that's a
been
problem in the illusion.
yes, so long we've been taught to not love ourselves.
Right. Love everybody else but us.
Like that, that's part of the conditioning being in America as well. And so we want to love ourselves and we want to teach others to love themselves. They can do this.
Right.
Wow. Now,
Yeah.
once again, this land is beautiful. I've
Thank
seen
you.
the
Thank you.
farms. Later on, maybe in another episode, we would walk around with my GoPro to show me some around. And it's huge. And you've been able to do this for how many years now?
Well, we came to the Gambia. We moved here in 2016. We didn't buy the land until 2019 because there was a leadership
Actually-
change in the country.
Actually,
Go
it was 2018 when we purchased land.
ahead. I thought
not
it was
19.
2019. We made a purchase in 2018. Then we made another purchase in 2019 to add on. So you're right. We did make this land consist of 2 separate purchases. And so anyway, like she said, we bought the first purchase in 2018. Then we went to America and came back and bought another in 2019. And so with our budget, we just go,
According to your pace.
Right,
yeah,
right.
yeah.
We didn't actually start building the house until 2020.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Yes.
Wow.
I mean, we built the security house and other little things.
To
We
secure
started
the
that
land.
in 2018 or 2019?
Yeah, about that.
Yeah, 2019 because we
Now,
come back.
you guys moved early before the trend, I would say.
Yes.
When it's time to go.
We just was ready to go. I mean,
But-
well, I should say Rick was ready to go. I didn't know where I was
Why?
going. Because when he brought it to me and I'm like, leave America? I think we're okay. But in my back of my head, I know we're not okay.
Yeah.
I know what we're going through, but it was me of being fear of, I've never been to Africa. I've never even been on
Did
a
you
plane.
have that stereotypical view of Africa? Honestly.
Did I what?
Had that stereotypical view of Africa.
I sure did. Because when I got here, I was like, before I got here, when he brought it to me, I'm like, they don't probably even have cars and no houses, or I don't know. I didn't know because, you know, being in America, all you see at 3 o'clock in the morning is Africa with the babies, flies everywhere,
donate
big belly, donate, give me this money, this.
We'll help them.
You don't see like the so-called we're living in America. You didn't see that. And so, yes, that was bad.
So when you touched down, and
I'm looking like, whoa, this is Africa. This is not what I saw on television. I didn't see any babies running around like what they was putting in my head. And then when I saw it, I was like, okay, maybe I can work with this. This is something different. Yes.
From 2016 to 2023 now. You guys are you living or surviving here?
A little of both.
Yes.
A little of both. We'd like to be more profitable with the farm, but we're at a disadvantage because we got such a large piece of land that you need farming equipment, and we were in such a rush to get out of there that we didn't allocate funds because they weren't available for like a farming tractor and things of that sort.
Right.
And so right now we're setting aside funds to get the tractor where we can make the land a little bit more profitable and we can hire more people. Because the main thing was, if we just scale back and just do us, we're good. But life is about a little bit more than just you being good. What about your fellow brother and sister? And so, yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So we took the focus off of us and say, okay, now we want to hire some people and we want to pay them a lot more than they're getting paid. And we want to pay them on a weekly basis and change their lifestyle as our lifestyle is being changed. And so that's what we wanted to do. And
sometimes
that's what the goal is.
Yeah, but sometimes it doesn't go that way because you get that.
What has been some challenges though?
Well, you got to fight with the system.
Yes.
You got to fight with the system. I'm a disabled veteran because I went and fought a war for them. So I kind of came back with some damage. And so sometimes you transfer money in and it's difficult. You know, they ask you what the account number is. You say 123. Then you verify. Did you get it? I said 123. Then when they actually send it, it's 456. And so you're like, where's this money? I'm waiting on. I got to pay people. They just sent it to
so 456
instead of 123.
They'll hold it sometimes for a week
Deliberately?
Right. Yes.
And that's the system.
Yes, that's the system still coming after you because we come from such a little small rural town. Everybody knew us because we coached youth sports, our kids, because they was involved with sports. So everybody knew us and everybody said they left.
Yes.
But they'll be back. And so now they see us thriving in some regards and they're saying, they're not coming back. And so anything I can do to deter them or
it happens.
delay them, I'm going to do it and stuff.
I like
you know
that.
What I'm
Yes.
This is I think typical of America. You know.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
That's the way it works with them. So that's not an American dream. Nightmare.
It's a nightmare.
Yes.
You know, but I think even Africans on the continent are still suffering from the delusion of America being the place to go to.
Right.
You know, be prosperous.
Right. A lot of them don't like to share it. I don't know why, but a lot of them, when they're there, they don't share it to the people back home what they're actually going through. Yes.
Because there's a hierarchy that we look at these people who traveled abroad, and then when they come back, we look at them like, oh, these people are making it. They are rich. They are working this beautiful job. But the reality, sometimes they are doing dishes.
Very poor. Yeah.
They are
Exactly.
I mean, they are doing dishes.
We actually we know a lot that come from the continent
that are doing dishes.
That doing dishes and doing housework, cleaning
hotels. Because we were in the cleaning business and stuff.
And they would tell us.
Like a lady that was a very close friend, she was from Liberia.
Yes.
And we was like, and she was in charge.
Yes.
She was the head house cleaner. And I know they weren't paying her nothing what she was worth, but she was the head house cleaner.
Beautiful sister.
And, in fact, when something went down, the owners, they were Indian from Gujarat. which is here too.
Gujarat, yeah.
Yep. So they would ask her, hey, what we need to do? And she was like, okay, do this and do that. And I was like, that's backwards. You're telling the owners what need to get done in their hotel versus, you know, them already knowing.
And how we know, she would tell us. So that's how we knew.
Wow.
So
Wow. Now, you know, I think what I normally want to do is to be able to kind of crack that illusion by giving the perspective of the life you'd live out there. You know, the hassle and the bustle.
Right.
You know, I had someone on the show who said she has experienced more homeless people in America than she has in Africa.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
There is so many there. I mean, you wouldn't believe how many. It probably it will fill up this whole land.
Homeless people.
Yeah, homeless people, yeah.
What is that? Is it that America is not what they say it is, or like they are deliberately just putting this type of people in that situation? What is it? Because I don't understand.
Well, it's a structure. Again, you got to go back to history, which will help you to better visualize where it is today. And the system was based off of enslavement.
Yes.
So the rich got richer while the poor stayed poor. And the system hasn't changed to this very day. When we were there's 24 hours in a day, and I was working 16-hour days. 16-hour days. I'd get off work, go out there.
That means two jobs, or just one job?
One job.
Okay.
Yeah, one job. And I'd get off working one shift, and I'd go and sleep in the vehicle, and then come back in again for the next shift and stuff. You know, I'd take a break, get a little 8-hour difference in between, or sometimes I just work straight. Finish this 8 hour, don't clock out, go right into the next 8 hours. But sometimes I would get off, then I would go to sleep, then clock back in to get the other 8 hours. And so I was working like 16-hour days, sleeping at the job, and still we weren't making it. You know what I'm saying?
Because I would prepare the food so he wouldn't have to come home.
Right.
I think you were an hour away, wasn't it?
About an hour away. Drive an hour
away from home. So that's why he did the sleeping in the car. It's just and save money, so he wouldn't go to the restaurant.
So the hassle was real in America.
Yeah, it really is. And I'd like to blast the continental Africans too right now. I'd like to blast each and every continental African that has left the African continent and went into the illusion, the UK or the US or France. It doesn't matter. I would like to blast you for not telling the continental Africans the real conditions that you're living under.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's okay to send back money, but tell them what you're going through to send those remittances back to the continent. Then we would stop all this back way and people risking their lives to go there and experience what you're experiencing. So I don't think you're being as honest as possible with the continental, your brothers and sisters, about the ordeals that you're going through where you are. Sure, you're making money, but you're not keeping much. And tell them what you're going through to get that amount of money.
Right.
It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
Not at all. Not at all.
Do you guys think it's possible to make it here in Africa?
Ooh, Africa's
Is it possible?
Future.
Yes.
Africa's the future.
Of course you can make it here.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things you have to come with that mindset. Don't come with, well, I'm going to have this as a way, what you call it, a cook. Certain things you do not need all of that. If you didn't have it in America, don't come to Africa and expect to have it here. Do for yourself. That's the only way.
Right.
That's just the only way. You can definitely make it here.
And there's so many opportunities here that I don't think the Continentals see. They think the opportunity is to go and wash dishes. That's not an opportunity.
But they'll say they'll get much more from washing dishes than they would do from working in a bank in Africa.
But you can make it here and with your disposable income and have something left over.
Right.
In the illusion, there's nothing left over. You understand what I'm saying?
Not even your dignity sometimes.
If you make $1,000 US per month, you're going to have to pay back anywhere from $800 to $950 of it.
Yes, look at rent. Rent is very expensive living in America. Very expensive rent. And when we left, it was probably, what, $700, $800 a month? Now I'm hearing everybody saying, what, $2,000 a month?
Yeah, it's $2,000.
And then you have to get someone to share with you.
Right.
It's very expensive.
Yeah, it's very expensive. Now, one of our daughters was staying in a certain place. The rent became so pricey, she had to move to another state.
Yes.
Now, what she's going to realize, that is equally as expensive as the place you just left. So you got to come up with the realization, hey, is it time to get out of here or not? So,
it's designed to fail.
it's not sustainable.
When
That's
did you
correct.
guys realize the American dream was a lie?
Well, me growing up, looking at all the contradictions now, I bought off into this, and at the point I didn't really mind it. But in the illusion, you have to be twice as good as they are just to make half of what they pay them. So it didn't matter how much college education you got. It didn't matter how many initials you had behind your name. The deal was you had to work twice as hard as they did and earn less money. And that takes a toll on your psyche.
Yes.
You know, that leads to depression, stress, anxiety, just all kind of things. And once you start getting that leads into blood pressure, and blood pressure leads into diabetes, and diabetes leads into heart attack. And then this is why the black male is dying in the illusion. Now, what made me realize it was time to go was my father died in his 60s. His brother died in his 60s. My grandfather died in his 60s. I'm looking at all the, had uncles and stuff dying in their 60s. This is not from being shot by racist police. This is health reasons. You see what I'm saying? So I'm like, wait a minute now. I don't click 50s and stuff. You know, I'm 59 now. So I'm like, hey, wait a minute now. Something's going on that's killing the men in my family at age 60. So I'm like, I'm out of here. You know what I'm saying? So now we're over here, we eat better.
Yeah.
You know, we grow our own vegetables, no chemicals and stuff. We grow our own fruit and stuff, you know, no chemicals. So that was the time that I said, I got to get out of here. Not only are they killing people, they're getting us for health reasons too and stuff. So that's why I decided to get out.
When I recognized this is when we were in the military. I thought I was living, like I thought was a dream. We were doing great. But when we got out and we really had to work, and I mean work, that hurt me because I watched his health go down. Once we got out of the military, that was it. And when I watched his health go down, I figured, you know, we really aren't making it. Even when we were working for ourselves, like I said, we were doing it, but the money was still going back into their hands. We weren't really keeping. And I saw this and I got angry because I felt, you know, you do all this work, you do this, they say do that, and you're still not making it. It just, it hurts to see that. And then you work so much and you need medical service done. You can't provide, you can't do that.
Send a message to people who are stuck. They want to leave, mind you.
Yes.
But they are stuck in the system, whether it be health reasons, depending on the system for health benefits, or even finance sake, because they make the money, but as you said, they can't save enough to be able to move down here. Send advice, very strong advice to an African American watching us right now who want to make the move like you guys did.
Right. Well, the message that I send, and this is a personal message, you have to actually open your eyes.
Yes.
That's where it starts. Once you open your eyes and see things as they are, like Sweet Juice and Mom and I like to talk about this movie called They Live.
Yes.
Where the guys are being invaded by intergalactic entrepreneurs, and they've brainwashed everybody into thinking you have to, they brainwashed everybody into the dream. So if you get these eyeglasses, you get to see this person is a monster.
Yes.
This person is a monster. And when you saw a beautiful advertisement, what the advertisement actually was saying was work. Consume. Spend.
Yep.
Conditioning you to work
That's
as
all
a slave
in America.
and to give the money back to them and stuff. And so once you come to the realization that that is the system that I'm working in, that's when you will make the decision to get out, because you know it's a non-win situation for you there. It's a non-win situation.
And I say health. Your health is bad. It's time to do something. You can change that. You don't have to necessarily be on all the pharmaceuticals.
They're medicines.
Yes. You can eat your way with healthy food.
Exactly right.
If you're not ready to change all of that, then I don't know what else to
You
say.
grow your own food here.
Yes,
Yeah.
we do.
Setting up this, I know, is huge line. It's not easy.
No,
What has
it's
been
not.
some challenges you've been through trying to establish this farm here?
Well, I would say one of the biggest challenges is finding workers that can buy off into your vision. You know, for example, like we pay above average pay, and we don't pay on a monthly basis. We pay on a weekly basis. And so the object is you can work as hard as you want to and make as much money as you want to, but we're not going to give it to you. And so the mindset here is like, well, you know, you've given me this job opportunity, but still I need something extra. And that extra is not going to come. You understand what I'm saying? So it's putting out the vision. Hey, this is what we want to do, and this is what you can pay your school fees with. This is what you can build a new house. You could buy some land with this income that we're giving you and stuff, but we're not going to give it to you.
You have to work for it.
And so, you know, sometimes you have to say, hey, you know, it's time for us to part company, because we laid out the vision to you, the program, and for some reason you're just not catching on. And so it's time to part company. So I would say the biggest challenge is finding suitable workers that will buy off into your vision and understanding what you're doing. Because right now we're paying the people and we're not operating off of the profit. You understand what I'm saying? So that money is depleting other money that's coming in, because we got to pay them to do what they're doing. And then when they come in and don't want to do what we're paying them to do, then that's a problem and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Not just them, family members as well.
Exactly.
Family members as well. I don't want to just say, oh, you know, I'm bashing them.
No.
Family members as well.
No, it happened in America as well. You had people who work for us in America who expect us to just give
them money.
No, we don't just give. If we're working, you have to work as well too.
Right.
So
What
it's
kind
not
of,
just
what kind of
continent.
mindset do we have that impedes that our growth, like you just mentioned?
Well, I think it's, and I'm going to say it's continent wide, because again, the YouTubers talk, and there's this mindset of give it to me. The Europeans came in, took everything, colonized us, but they gave us a little something. So you guys are coming from the same place. What y'all gonna give us? We're like,
No.
we don't have that to give. We never stole from you. You know what I'm saying? And so the mindset is, you know, it's like
Like
know,
you
can-
say, they
can-
think we're rich.
Can you give me something? You know, and I'm like, give you what? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I can give you a job. You know what I'm saying? To help you to make it on your own. But as far as just giving it to you, you're gonna come back every month.
Yes.
You know, once I give it to you, you're gonna come back every month or every
For
day
more
for
and more,
And then
you
you're
know.
gonna bring people with you and stuff. And then guess what? I'm scrapped. You know, I can't survive. I can't support my family because I'm steady dishing it out to everybody and stuff. So I would say the mindset of, can you give me something for nothing?
Right.
And we didn't tolerate that in the illusion.
We won't do it here.
We don't tolerate it.
What do you
here.
think we can do differently to eliminate this kind of behavior?
I would say, and this is going to rub some people wrong, we got to actually open our eyes and see where religion is taking us. And there's a lot of poverty here in the Gambia, but I think the Gambians think they can pray their way out of it. You know what I'm saying? I think they think Allah's going to come in and rescue them, or the Christians think Jesus is going to come in and rescue them.
It's not going to happen.
If it ain't happened up to this point right now, you got to open your eyes and realize, hey, it ain't gonna
you
happen.
have to do it for yourself.
You got to do it for
You
yourself.
have to do it for
You
yourself.
got to do it for yourself.
At what point do you say, okay, you know, I understand that I've been given, or this aid has been given to us so many years now. It's time to actually do some work and do it yourself. Forget the aid.
Yeah, but
I mean, it's okay to get some help, but when it's like hurting you when you're getting that help, it actually brings you worse back down than where you were before. Then you don't really need that.
Yeah, but the aid, I mean, they take billions.
Yes.
They take billions in resources, and then they give you a few 100,000 in CDs or the losses. You're losing.
Right.
You're losing. Sorry about the.
Come on.
No, that is beautiful.
That is, You know what that is, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Palm nut.
Yeah,
Yeah.
palm, yep.
Kernel.
Yeah, palm
This is
kernel.
beautiful. We are sitting on the land and there's palm nuts here. That's fruit. You can
falling.
eat it.
Right.
You know, this is beautiful. Your story is very inspirational.
Thank you.
And I encourage, myself encourage people in the diaspora to also move back, because I see the future to be we working with the diaspora in order to enrich ourselves, to work, you know, to change the continent as a whole.
It's the place to be.
It's
It
the future.
is.
It's the future.
We've been lied to all my life. It's not what they say it is at 3 o'clock in the morning. It's something different.
No,
You
it's
get
the
to
future.
actually think here. You know, in America, you don't have enough time to think. Your brain is just speeding real fast. I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to, you know, I got to pay this. I got to pay that. If by the time you do all of this, you want to go to sleep, you got to get back up and do it again.
Right.
Same, just going
So they are
over and
working you
over and
to
over.
death.
Yes.
The rat race, like you
Yes.
said. Rat race.
It's scary. And before you know, you're either sick or dead.
That's true.
And it's over.
That's true.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Now, you know, I want us to, you brought your daughter with you, right?
2 daughters.
Yeah, 2 daughters. They are here.
Yeah,
Yes.
2 daughters and 2 sons are here.
Okay, I want to ask them that. What did they think of when you told them I'm going to Africa? What did they say? So, guys, you probably have to bring them in, ask them what they thought of, you know, when their parents told them they're moving to Africa. So you have your daughter here with you.
Yes.
Now, we had an amazing conversation with your parents.
Yes.
Briefly introduce yourself for the people who have not seen you before, have not seen your YouTube channel and watching you for the first time.
Okay, my name is Rakita. My family calls me Kiki. My YouTube channel is Ricky Denise in the Gambia. I've been living here with my family 7 years and I absolutely love it.
Now, when they told you that, listen, we are going to the continent of Africa,
Yes.
what was going through your mind, or what did you say?
Well, of course, it was just kind of like shocking because it was just like, you don't know what to expect when you're coming here. You only see what they show you on TV. But I can definitely say when we actually came here, I didn't like it at first, but then after some time I made friends and everything, and I really did. I have been enjoying it ever since. But at first, yeah, it was very, very nerve-wracking.
Yeah, well, what made it networking in the beginning?
As I said, you only see what they really show you on the media, kind of like the stereotypes. And kind of what influenced me to even make my channel was once I got here, I saw all the different things that I didn't see before on the media. And you know, when you're in America, you don't see that, so you only see one side. So I wanted to be able to kind of show what I was actually seeing here, which, you know, I think other people should have been seeing.
How's life like living as a teenager in the Gambia, in Africa?
It's nice. It's very freeing, I think, is the main thing I could say. If I can choose one word, it's very free. You don't have that anxiety of like the shootings and stuff like that in America. So I think it's very freeing, and yeah, it's very fun.
So you've been here in the very beginning, since you
Yes.
guys moved back.
Yes.
Yes.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yes.
So, well, how old were you when you moved back with your parents?
I was 15.
15.
Yes.
Well, how old are you now?
22.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. 7 years on the continent.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
What if you should use a one word to describe the experience? What would that word be?
Exciting.
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 What will you tell your friends and family in the diaspora watching you, your YouTube channel, watching you do what you do? What would you tell them?
I always say this. I say, you know, even if it's just one time, just a visit, just do it. You know, you may not like it, but at least you can say that you at least experienced it. Because some people, some of my family that I talk to back home, they say, you know, I'm not interested in coming or whatever. But like, how can you not be interested? You've never even tested it out. So I say, at least just give it a chance. You never know what happened. Because even me, like I said, I was like nervous coming here. I didn't know what to expect, but I at least gave it a chance. And I'm very glad that I did, because so much has happened since then. And yeah, I wouldn't trade it for the world.
So you have no regrets?
No regrets.
Yeah.
No.
What is the most favorite thing you like about the Gambia?
As I said earlier, it's just very free. Everyone is welcoming. That was one thing that I really noticed since being here. Everyone is so welcoming. Like, I always say this in my videos, like if you're just walking or wherever and you see someone eating out of a bowl, they would just say, come on and join, you know. It's just,
You wouldn't have gotten that in America?
not really, no.
Not really?
Not at all.
No.
Everyone just makes you feel like family here, and I really love that.
Wow.
And it definitely made it easier for us to adapt coming here, you know, as repatriates. You know, they made you feel like it's your home, which it is.
Before we conclude the interview, right, I want you to send an advice to the African youth on what to exactly do with the resources they have here, or how they should think differently in order to be able to achieve or even retrieve the wealth that they have within the continent, rather than looking at the outside.
Right. Well, my message, personal message to the African youth is, you have everything on the African continent that you need to succeed.
Yes.
The only thing is, once you decide this is the particular avenue that I want to pursue as far as making it, I would say back it up with quality service, because a lot of youth are starting businesses here, but they don't look at how to please the customer. It's more of, let me just get the money, and when I provide you with the service or the product, that's when I do it. That's not how business works.
Right.
You have to satisfy your customers so they'll keep coming back month after month after month after month. The income will be there, versus looking for somebody new, giving them inferior customer service, then looking for the next person. You'll always be looking for your money that way, versus if you provide them with customer service, they'll come back month after month after month, and they'll tell their friends who will come back month after month, and it'll just snowball, versus bringing them in and getting that one-time source of income, and they're not going to repeat business with you, and they're not going to tell their friends about you, free advertisement. You know, matter of fact, once we find somebody that's reputable, we put them on our YouTube channel, Black Acres of the Gambia. We put them on our YouTube channel, and the people are coming back saying, standing room only now.
Yeah, they
my
love
business, my business is packed now because y'all put out the video and stuff.
Yes.
We don't did that with restaurants. We don't did that with auto mechanics. You name it.
Yes.
So, if you got customer service, expect to make it with the vast resources that the African continent has. Your turn, sweet.
Yeah,
mama.
I would say, you know, you get a product or whatever you have, stay with it, work with it. Don't give up. Don't go back way, because you're going to have to do it the same way over there. But actually, you're going to do it twice, triple as hard. You think you're going to go over there and you're just going to get the money just like that? No way. So whatever you have that you have to offer to whomever, work with it. Don't give up.
That's
Yes,
it.
you can make it.
Now, before we end, do you guys have any regrets?
Regret
yes.
he didn't get me here sooner.
Yeah,
I regret that.
because we were supposed to leave in 1991. We didn't leave in 1991. We left 2016. So just think how far ahead we'd have been of the game plan. You know what I'm saying? Nobody was thinking that much of mass movement to the African continent in 1991. You had sporadic movements and stuff, but to start the movement in 1991, we'd have been just that much more ahead of the ball.
Maybe
you know
one more regret, that my mom didn't get to come. Yeah, maybe I could have saved her from what she was going through with her health. So I think I regret.
Your mom is still in the U.S.?
She died a year after I got here.
Right.
We came 2016. She didn't want to come when we were coming. She said she'll come later. When it was time to really get back and try to get her back here, she didn't make it.
So how does that make you feel?
Sometimes it's sad, because, you know, I mean, again, like I said, I didn't grow up with her that much. Like I said, my grandmother, who is the one who raised me, but, you know, I still love my mom. If I could have saved her health, because I knew at the time she was getting sick with her kidney, but I couldn't do anything about it. The year that we were here, she was sick. There was nothing I could do.
Will you say you were not persuasive enough?
Say that again?
You were not persuasive enough to...
Well, I think at the end I was, and she knew she was getting worse. She did call me up and say she was ready to come, and we had just got here. We got here June of 2016. She died the next year, July, I believe, of 2017.
R.I.P.
Yes.
You know, it's sad when our family members don't see what we see.
Right.
And then fast forward, after you guys reach there, they would blame you for not helping them.
Yes.
Our children.
We have that. We get that a lot.
Yeah, I think sometimes we have to pressure them to almost force them because it's hard. They don't see it.
That's
Well,
right.
see, coming from the West, it's not a lot of pressuring and forcing at this time because a lot is more of you have to save yourself first.
That's right.
If you can't save yourself first, then you can't save anybody else.
And I realize one thing about America is people don't want to inflict their mindset or opinion onto others. So they let you be like, oh, you're your own self. You can do whatever you want.
Yes.
But in Africa, it's like even our parents would force you to do some certain things when they believe that is the right thing for you to do.
Right.
It's that way sometimes, a little bit, but once you reach that age where you're on your own and you're taking care of yourself, I don't think anybody can force me to do anything at this time.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I'm taking care of me now, and you're not taking care of me. So
I like that.
that's the way it was when we were coming up.
So you guys have been to only the Gambia on the continent of Africa?
No, we've been to
Together, I mean.
Guinea-Bissau,
Guinea-Bissau,
been to
Senegal,
and we were supposed to travel where the vehicles would allow us to go, but there were some issues going across the borders. You know, people saying, "Oh, you, like American, you got money, and you can't do that every spot." You know what I'm saying? You're gonna turn around and go back, no gas money,
because it's kind of discouraging.
So that made us pull back. So we like, man, maybe we got to fly into these countries.
Yeah.
Because we want to go to
Ghana.
Guinea-Conakry.
We want to go to Ghana.
We want to hit the West Coast first, then East Coast, then South, and then eventually the North.
Yes.
So
wow.
Yeah, we sort of pulled
And I
back.
believe you guys would do it.
Yeah. Oh
Now,
yeah.
if you
Definitely.
Yeah.
We're home now.
Yeah.
We made it home now.
Yeah.
I mean, we stayed in that rental place 5.5 years. So we done made it home. Of course, it's time to
Yeah. Now
travel.
you live on a property.
We were renting when we first came.
Oh, okay.
To get the 40-foot containers out.
Okay.
Yeah,
so we rented about 5 years.
Okay.
And now we just moved to the land.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's beautiful.
Yeah, been out here for about 3 weeks now.
How was your first night sleeping here? Like,
Oh, it was so restful.
Now, we slept out here before other nights.
Okay.
You know, we sleep in the
But to
security
sleep
house.
in the house,
But sleep in the house, yeah.
it was beautiful.
different.
wow,
It was.
Different.
You wake up and it's like,
the birds chirping.
wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Solar panels, not worried about lights out. I mean, you know, like the power shortages. Just lights on 24/7.
And just to walk to that garden
Yeah,
in the morning is
you want
beautiful.
some greens or some tomatoes or some sweet potatoes or whatever, you just walk to the garden and pick it. It's
Or
fresh.
just open the door and get a good fresh.
Now
The air
what-
just smells so
Yeah.
different when you're on your own.
Yeah. I want you guys to take me around so that I can
Okay.
see all
Sure.
this.
Okay.
And now, before you did that, you guys started a YouTube channel. And
Yes.
the reason behind it, what was the reason behind your YouTube channel when you started?
I'll let them talk about that.
Well, he didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
I knew about it when we first got to the Gambia. My daughter kept saying, "Mama, you guys are there. You need to share your experience." And I'm like, I'm still stuck in, my convenient mind. I don't really want to show this, what I'm going through. But she said, it would be great. It would be great. And I said, okay, let me talk with Dad about it. But when I went to him, he was like, I don't want to do that. But of course, when we started telling him how much you can make,
The money, yeah.
and then he said, okay, let's do this thing.
Yeah.
He started the thing, we started, he wouldn't let us break.
And the money was there.
Yes.
The money is there.
Yes, and,
Yeah,
and
the
we
money is
started
there.
it, and it just exploded.
That's beautiful.
That's
Yes,
right.
yes.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
If you do have a final,
Oh, it was like, it was so great. It was more than we was making in America.
Yes,
wait, what?
It was way more than we were
Yes.
making in America. Way more than making in America.
Yes.
So we
You
was
mean
like
gross revenue from working in America?
twice.
yeah.
Twice that.
Wow.
So the money is there. I mean,
Yeah.
just
You
build
just
it.
have to, again, with anything you do in life, you have to work.
Yeah.
No matter, and anybody tell you, there's no work, you don't have to do that much work. That's a lie.
Mhm,
You
that's
have to
right.
work.
That's right.
If you want something, go for it.
Right.
You guys have experienced the African continent. I mean, pretty much a couple
Yeah.
of countries. If you do have one thing to change, about the continent, what would that be?
I would say the mindset of thinking that the grass is greener on the other side.
Yes.
It's not. The grass is plenty green here. That the grass is not greener on the other side. The grass is plenty green here on the African continent and stuff, So you hear billionaires in the illusion saying Africa's the future. they're saying that for a reason, for their devilish ideas. But for us, you know, as humans, you know, hey, Africa is the future. We got the population. We got the raw materials.
Yes.
We've got the land. That's all you need.
And the people, beautiful people here.
Yeah.
Send a message to your family in the U.S. and friends.
Say that again.
Send a message to your family and friends in the U.S.
They will see.
Yeah, they already see. In fact, some people that don't even comment on our channel, the word is coming to us from our children saying, "My dad and mom are coming to visit."
Yes.
They're coming. They never mentioned it to us on the channel.
No.
But the kids know what's going on in the household.
They're seeing, and they know what they're going through there too, and they're tired. A lot of them around our age, they know what they're going through, and they know they don't want to go through it forever.
Right, and I think too, because of our channel, you know, we show you basically everything we do, and so you know what we experienced in the illusion because you're going through the same thing. Then get over here and do this and stuff and have fun and play.
You get to live again. You know, it's like we're reliving some of the 70s, the 80s that we went through in America. So
I like that.
Guys,
your story is very inspirational.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for talking to me and sharing your story with my audience.
You're so welcome. And thank you.
So if you do have a final message, or if you don't, do you have a final message again, or it's okay?
Subscribe to the channel, guys. He's a winner.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
If you're just looking, subscribe to the channel and our channel as well, Black Acres of the Gambia.
Right.
Webnation, right?
Yeah, Webnation Africa.
Webnation
so guys, go
Africa.
check them out. You know, they are doing amazing here. They give an update on every single thing, either the challenges, how to overcome it, the right people to talk to. You know, if they probably have a bad experience with somebody, they tell you that, listen, don't go there.
That's right. That's right.
So that's the only place you get that kind of advice, and it's real because they are living it. So you can trust that, and then reach out to them if you want to contact them. The number is on the screen, email, and also their YouTube channel. Go check them out. And guys, thank you so much once again.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And without further ado, let's say bye bye to them. All right.
All right.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye bye, everyone.